Another aspect of the Web 2.0 revolution changing the way we can do things in the classroom is the intervention or the addition of new methods of either accessing or sharing text information. The way that we read and write has definitely changed. But I've already mentioned some about that in terms of like having audiobooks and not instead of just books, or having ebooks instead of having paper books. But I'm talking more about the actual web itself and the way that those things have changed. So back in the day, we used to have things like diaries, encyclopedias, magazines, books, and even regular simple websites that people used to access. And I remember that when the internet first started, the people that invented Yahoo were trying to create a catalog of the web, and that's the whole point of the Yahoo. Yahoo was not really a search engine. It was more like a catalog engine that you can go through categories and find the websites based on the categories. Soon enough, that gave way to search engines, which were more intelligent ways to seep through the massive amount of information that's on the websites. But what caused this explosion of information that led to the need for search engines as opposed to categorize engines? Well, it's the fact of that now the internet is largely based on not only what a few people are putting on the internet, on a few websites, but it's exploding faster and faster with websites that get updated all the time, and even people have their own websites and own pages or own places where they broadcast their information. So for example, you have things like blogs, which are kind of like the modern diary, where we let people know about our thoughts and opinions. We post prose and text and poetry and all kinds of other information about anything at all. And we even have video blogs now, that's called podcasting. But in audio blogs, podcasting, we have all of these different ways of communicating information across the web and in transferring the knowledge that is in our side of us and share that with other people. And even encyclopedias have changed as well. Now, I will say that you still should always check with a reputable source that's approved by scholars in a correct method based on research and empirical, peer-reviewed research. So something like Encyclopedia Britannica is never going to truly be replaced. However, nowadays we have Wikipedia or wikis for any topic that you can think of. So there's a Star Wars wiki. There's a wikis for any topic that you would think of. And these wikis are how are they built? It's basically anyone can go in there and update an article within the wiki and add information to the Wikipedia. However, other people are constantly monitoring that information to make sure it's accurate. So a lot of people go against using that kind of setup in the classroom because they think that the information in Wikipedia is not accurate. And it's true that since anyone can go there and change it, a lot of inaccurate information pervades through Wikipedia. But at the same time, since you have a network of people who are checking that information and everybody is double checking that, if there is a peer review in place, the only difference is it's not necessarily a scholar peer review, but it's the population, the mass peer review. Everybody in the world is contributing to that information. And although there are problems with that, there's also great things about that. If you think about it, information is no longer reserved for a few people who have the knowledge and say what the knowledge should be. Now the masses have the chance to communicate and maintain their information flow in the web as well. And more often than not, I find that Wikipedia is a great resource that actually has wonderful information. Now, you shouldn't use it as the only source. And as any other source, you should always check their sources and their references to make sure where they got the information from. But ultimately, yes, you need to double check the information with a reputable source, but it's a great first resource to do research. And it is peer reviewed. It's just not peer reviewed in the same way that scholar articles are peer reviewed. And it's a wonderful tool to use and explode. And you can think about creating your own wiki. Have your students create, for example, let's say you want to talk about mitosis. Instead of you creating a website about mitosis, open a web page so that students can all contribute to correct each other and create an ultimate mitosis page from your class. So that way you create a Wikipedia and it's a product of your class to see what they've learned about it. It is a great way to use that in class. You can do the same thing kind of through blogs. Instead of having kids just give you a paper about something, have them blog about it and have other kids go to the blog and make comments and reply to the person's blog. All of this gives the kids a sense of belonging and a sense of their actually doing a product that can be shared and appreciated by other people, and that they're actually contributing to at large to the change of the internet and the contribution of the information. So another thing like that, they can have their own websites and things like Google sites. So kids can have their own websites, and you teachers can have your own websites, blogs, and Wikipedias as well. Another example is Google Docs. So Google Docs is a platform when we can put documents, say like for example a worksheet, and then multiple kids can all connect at the worksheet at the same time and update the website together. And as one person makes a change, everybody sees the change in the same time, live. And this is just one of the ways you can use Google Docs. But basically, it's a way of sharing information across a large group of people, in which a great group of people can instantly change that information. Kind of like a Wikipedia in live format with one document. It's a great way to network in the classroom and create a final product that is actually the product of multiple different people working on it. So we know we talk about creating gallery walks, and then each group focuses on one aspect, and then they create one big gallery with all the material that everybody can learn from. This, you can do that kind of through a Google Docs. At the same time, each group will be updating one document with the knowledge of the class. So you can do the same thing through a wiki space, though. And another way that it's changing is the way that we access websites. We no longer actually simply go to search the websites for the information. Not only is a catalog search not good enough, now we also have the change in the way that we actually go to the information and receive it. You can set up for something that's called an RSS feed. And an RSS feed, basically using something like Google Reader. In my iPad, I use an app called Flipboard. And basically what it does, it creates a magazine of all your websites for you. And so you sign up for certain websites, and then the websites come to you instead of you going to the websites. And then the app organizes all of that in the magazine that you can just sift through and see what's been changing in the websites. So instead of you going to CNN.com, every time CNN updates something, it goes to you and your magazine. But your magazine also has other news there as well. And then you sign up for several different websites, and what you end up getting is a self-updating continuous magazine. And as teachers, we can create RSS feeds for our websites so that kids can automatically get feedback about anything that's changing or any new content that's being placed on the website. So you can see how that's changing the way we interact with the web. Another example of that is something that I call the Google Search History Creator. It's a great tool to use in class, especially when you do some things like research papers, or you want to know how students are learning about it. Basically what it is that kids do a series of 7 to 8 searches in Google about a certain topic, and then the Google Search History Creator will download those search results and organize them into a compendium or a scrapbook of the search the kid did in preparation for a paper or something. And then you can actually put that music to that and create a scrapbook, a virtual scrapbook of how I did my research. So lots of ways to interact with the web and also interact with textual content that we talked about. And remember this, blogging is the new diary. Wikis are the new encyclopedia. Google Docs are the new textbooks. Magazines are being replaced by web pages. Instead of visiting websites, we get the websites delivered to us. We are changing the way we access information, and more importantly, we can also change the way we relate to the information, because now with the Web 2.0 tools like Google Docs, Wikispaces, and blogging, RSS feeds, and all of these things, we are actually involved in changing the web. The web is no longer generated by a group of people who have the knowledge, but it's the knowledge of all of us that constantly creates a new environment. And we are rising to a higher critical thinking level because we are now sharing across the globe with people like you and me. So how wonderful would it be if classrooms across the world were all discussing these processes together, and the knowledge that you create is shared across the board, and then we build a massive amount of information that we can all gather and seep through. It's important for kids to learn to use that, both so that they can learn how to share their knowledge and also how to access and seep through that knowledge and find the things which are important. Know how Wikispaces and Wikipedia work so that they can know how to make sure the information is good. Know how to find information in the web. Know how to blog and how to comment to blogs and how to think critically and how to find information, how to work together to create information. And so instead of having a classroom where the teacher gives the information out to the students, and that's the truth, it would be better if the teacher creates a setup where the students can find their information, work together to create their own textbook or their own bank of information and study together to learn the material that way. And ultimately, I think that as we proceed through the process of education getting better and better, that is one direction where we might go into. But even if you don't feel comfortable about giving up the reins that much, you can use that in a micro scale. Imagine, instead of assigning a project where the kid has to talk about the Cold War, you assign that for the whole class, and you make a document that everybody can update together in Google Docs, or a wiki space that everybody contributes to and corrects itself, and see what you end up with. A collaborative, peer-reviewed website that was created by your class. Have the students blog instead of submitting papers on paper. Have the students comment on each other's blogs. Have the students work together to create the wiki or together to create a Google Doc. Have the students sign up for RSS feeds for these things so that anytime anything changes, they automatically get information about it. Have the students know how to do searches and track those searches with Google Search History Creator. And have the students learn how to access content on the web and be both consumers of content, and also have students learn how to create content for the web and post that and share with each other and comment on each other's work. That is the future that we need to send students towards if we don't want to stay behind on the education. All right? Thank you.